Everyone is the Thursday night forum. Welcome. No game today, postponement from Liverpool, but we are not postponed. We are not cancelled. And I want to welcome two familiar faces on the bottom. I guess we'll go with Gary and Stan. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Evening.
And I don't know who this guy is beside me right here, but I guess it's Comrade Tonsky. Hey, Comrade, how are you?
Fine.
All right.
Listen.
It's gonna be one of those shows, Stan. It's gonna be one of those shows. Listen, a lot of people in tonight. Great to see everyone here. No game tonight, unfortunately, but we are live here, and we'll get into it. I think we're gonna take a few things going on today, so we'll get into the FA Cup charges, EFL postponement, and restructured fixtures for this month coming up here. Liverpool have given us kind of an extended break, Tony. So you want to dive into that, the EFL postponement, Liverpool, and all that good stuff, because we're supposed to be talking about a game tonight. Oh, by the way, in the virtual game, Arsenal won 3-1 at home. Okay.
I still am surprised Liverpool weren't trying to get a one-legged affair there because they're trying all they could to get that. Then they sell two of their players they could have actually fielded, so they could have actually played, but they sold them instead. So now we have a long time off before the cup. Fixtures start stacking up for us, but wish we had a game to talk about. But I'm sure we can come up with plenty.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into with that FA charge. It kind of brings us all the way back around, Stan, a little bit to that performance on Saturday. So we're going to look back at Arsenal as well. How good can we be potentially, Stan? And we're going to look back at, I think, more like the referee's performance on Saturday as well with that FA charge. But we want to start off with the EFL postponement. Liverpool and Klopp, 3 COVID cases only.
See, I don't understand because when you submit your team at the beginning of each season, you don't just submit a first 11. You submit about, I think it's 25 or 26 names. I'm not sure exactly the number.
Yeah, I think it's 25.
So if you had a case, let's say, for example, the shits went through your team and you got 6 or 7 players out because they had dodgy lasagna, you wouldn't cancel the game, would you? You still have players that you can pick from. If you want to cancel the game, then I would imagine that would be forfeit. Now, in the case of obviously COVID, obviously it's a little bit more different because people can catch it. But if they have got cases of COVID and that's why the game has been cancelled, then wouldn't there be a period of isolating? Yet they're going to be able to field a team to play Shrewsbury on Sunday. So it seems that they haven't. They're kind of like half in and half out. If they've got COVID and that's why they can't play, then you think that they would be isolating for a longer period of time. But it just seems very convenient that they can muster a team together to play Shrewsbury. So I'm a little bit disappointed, and I think everybody knows that at the beginning of the season, when we had players with COVID, we had to field a team.
Yep.
And we did that, and we did the best that we could. So it does seem a little bit to me of favouritism being afforded a little bit there to Liverpool because it doesn't seem to equate with what happened to us.
Yeah, definitely. Gary, and following on from, I can hear the echoes of disappointment from Stan a little bit. Following on from Saturday, where we put that performance in, and players wanted to get back out on the field. We had a sour taste in our mouth from that game. I'm feeling a little bit like optimistic about what we did on Saturday, but the players definitely would want to get back out, and that's been denied to us now by, Liverpool maybe working the situation a little bit to their benefit. As Stan said, they're probably going to play the FA Cup game, and I think the FA have said there will be no cancellations due to COVID now moving through the FA Cup rounds. You.
Am I breaking up or you guys breaking up? Because I can't hear.
I think there's a delay slightly coming from Ray.
A delay from me.
Yeah, so you're talking,
Yeah.
but your lips don't move, and then your lips catch up. You
Uh-oh.
look like the guy from Police Academy that does that.
So basically, Gary, the players would have loved to. I'll slow down a little bit. The players would have loved to have a game to follow up 3 or 4 days later after that disappointment on Saturday.
No, definitely. I mean, you play a game like that. I mean, if you can don't even have to look at the whole game. Just look at the first 45 minutes, and you have a blueprint of what can be done against anybody in the league. Much less, hopefully in the future in the world, right? If you're playing European football, so it should be definitely incentive as to what we can do this, and we've got some of the pieces that we need right now. So yeah. If I'm a player, I want to play right away. The FA, with their decision, and basically Liverpool turning around and then basically shoving it in our face that we could have fielded a team, because there's no way a 2-day difference is a reason. Is only 2-day difference between the games, and you can field a team for that game, but not for this one. I don't believe any of that. I know their managers were going to be all out, but that doesn't. They're going to still play, right? They're not playing with Klopp's not going to be managing them over the weekend, so it doesn't really matter. It's it would have. Now we just have to go out there and beat them. That's all. It doesn't really matter. It sounds like we're going to have to fight this one on the field with goals, because that's the only way we're going to fight and win. That's the only way this is going to happen. Hopefully the team feels that way as well. I know the fans do. I know the fans will, any fans that are in stands when they're playing Liverpool for the rest of the year. Do we have, is that it? If we don't play them anymore outside of the cup, right?
Who?
It's Liverpool, right?
We do have a home game with Liverpool in the league.
We have a home game, sorry. Yep. So we still got 3 games against them. At maybe 3. Who knows? I just foresee them canceling the second leg, and going, you know what? We tried our best to fit you guys in, but it's just not going to work. We're just going to have to go with the single leg. That's why we have to just win all of our matches that we play from here on out.
Single legs are hard to deal with.
I bet you know that.
Tony is very much in favor of 2 legs. And, if anyone who's here and does not know, anyone who's watching a playback or live and does not know about Tony, he went through a traumatic amputation almost more than a year ago now, Tony. So
today's actually a year to the day that I got home. And I was so getting used to getting home, trying to figure out medications and stuff. I missed what was going on at the Capitol building. Happened to be on the same day.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
and I guess one thing I wanted to say hello to everybody in the chat. I see a lot of friends that have joined us. BX Gunner, Lolo's in the house. Urban Ghost has joined us. I don't know if BX Gunner's still around. There's a Stan in the house as well. Oh, there we go. Stan joined us today. Brownie is here. Brownie was here.
Yep.
Steve Denham, welcome.
Mr. Tom.
Tony Turner's always in there. I don't know what's going on. He's always there. So welcome everybody to the show that's in the chat, and everybody else that joins us on the replay. The Assemble has just joined us. Welcome.
So Tony, we'll go around again with this postponement thing. We can't be pious and holier than thou, because we had David Dean for a number of years, advocated for us, and of course a little bit of history here. Tottenham, we relegated Tottenham, our rivals, when we arrived into the old division, and we actually promoted through our benefactor and owner, Sir Edward Norris, I think, or Richard Norris, one of his names. Anyway,
Dick Norris.
Richard Norris, was it?
Chuck
Dick
Norris.
Chuck Norris. Somebody will correct me on that anyway. But listen, things were done, and Tottenham were relegated, and we got brought up into the upper echelons after World War One.
I
So
don't see the problem. I'm a little confused as to where you're going with it, with that kind of that kind of thought. That sounds about right to me, doesn't it? Anybody on this
yes,
panel think that
yes,
was the wrong thing to do? I think we
it
all think
was
it was the right thing.
absolutely the right move, absolutely the right move in the day. Um, Stan, news breaking that Rick Parry, the CEO of EFL, um, he has former ties with Liverpool. Is this too much of a conspiracy theory to think that he's done his old city, his old club a favor here and giving them a break from this game?
Well, that's the thing. I think there are a lot of favours that do go on. And as I said on the same old Arsenal show on Tuesday, we were talking about officiating and the state of it, and the Mark Halsey accusations about corruption. And according to Mark Halsey, he's not saying that referees have been making mistakes because of their incompetence or because they're inept, which is what a lot of us think. He actually says that it's down to actually being told to give as many corners as you can, turn a blind eye to this, and he's basically talking corruption in the game. That's former referee Mark Halsey, who said that when he was refereeing, he's been asked to do this and asked to do that, and it sounds like it just reminds me of what happened in the Formula One at the end of the last season. And I guarantee you that with that debacle that went on at the end of that Formula One season, next season you're probably going to have a lot more people with their eyes on that product who probably never watched Formula One before, because it's turning into entertainment. And I don't want to see that happening with football. If they are going to try to make it more of an entertainment attraction, if I want to watch something that's been predetermined, I can watch Monday Night Raw or the next wrestling pay-per-view, and that will do me nicely. I don't want it to happen in football. But they're pretty strong allegations. And when you look at the way that the game was refereed against Man City, it was, it looked like that he had a quota to fill. And I'm really pleased that, in a way, that Stuart Atwell didn't go to the screen to look at the foul on Odegaard, because the kind of decisions that he was making, he would have looked at how that video ends with Odegaard's foot on top of Edison's and could have given him a red card. When the real, when the case of it is that Odegaard was trying to move the ball out of his way, and Edison's foot comes screaming in at 100 miles an hour. It ended up underneath Odegaard's foot. So I'm pretty happy that he didn't look at the screen, because it might have gone against us, And as for running down towards the penalty area and impeding Martinelli, and apparently his notes for that were that he ran down there because he wanted to make sure and see whether the ball crossed the line or not. And for me, that's just ridiculous. He's got a fucking watch on his wrist that will let him know if the ball crosses the line. That's technology that's already there, the Hawkeye. So he's just talking out of his fucking behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as I said on the show, unlike teams like Liverpool, from the FA and all these governing bodies and officials, I don't want favours. What I want is fairness.
Yeah.
Consistency. That's what I want. If you're going to go to the screen, to the screen to look at one, then look at the other as well. That one with Martin Odegaard, I thought that was a clear penalty even before I saw the replays, and there was nothing. There was no call to look at the screen. Then the Xhaka one, I'm like, fuck, we got away with this one because the ref didn't call it immediately. It was the people in their caravan up at Stockley Park that told them to go and take a look at the screen. The ref was going to leave it. I thought we might have got away with one, but that was definitely a pen. They were both penalties. Yet our one was overlooked, and the referee was made to go back and take a look and give a penalty, because it's very rare that a referee will go to the screen, take a look, and still continue with his original judgment. If he goes to the screen, 9 times out of 10, it's going the way that the guys in his ear have told him to go.
Change of the mind. And the problem there is you don't have consistency. You don't have the same person officiating the game, and you don't get the consistency of decisions. And I think it's got to happen where every major decision, tenacious not tenacious, but any atrocious decision up for officiating will need to be checked on. As Mr. Tom 21 says here, there's no corruption in football. Oh, would you look at that? I had my fingers crossed. Brownie's here. I believe you're under the weather a little bit, Brownie, but thanks for being with us. Football's always been corrupt. Remember the floodlight failures. How come every time I drop my phone, I block Tony?
He did it twice last week to me. I was like, what did I do?
It's on Tony block setting, which
Just, I mean, Mike. I mean, if we're going to talk about consistency, then the letter of the law. What happens if a player simulates a foul?
yeah, because this is something that
Because if we're talking about being consistent, then we should be following the letter of the law. And if you simulate a foul, the play should stop and you should be given a yellow, right?
yeah. So you think
the rule hasn't been taken away, right? It's still in the books, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then there's no penalty kick on Xhaka. He's not.
Yeah.
So we can't just say, all right, we're gonna take the pull, but we're not gonna look at the simulation before that and then say, you know what? But it is simulation. He's going over long before even he never touched. There's no contact. There's no contact before he goes down. There isn't. There's a leg in front. Yes, he pulls it back, but there's no contact.
There's two sequences, Stan. First, it is Silva going over the leg of Xhaka. The second sequence is Xhaka panicking and grabbing a fistful of shirt.
That's not how I saw it. How I saw it, the way that I saw it was that Bernardo Silva comes towards Xhaka, right? Mm-hmm. Xhaka kind of turns towards Silva and he almost puts himself into almost a half stoop and his knees are bent. And he turns with his knees and pushes his knees into Bernardo Silva's. That's the first thing.
There's no contact there. There's no contact there.
Okay, this is how I just saw it. To me, he's trying to get him with his knees. And then as Silva goes around him, which was always going to be inevitable because Xhaka doesn't try to tackle with his feet. First, he puts his arm out. and that motion now, Silva's going forward. We could say he's diving. I think it was to do a little bit with the knees, and he's thought, okay, contact, I'm going down. But then Xhaka makes it easy for everybody by grabbing his shirt, which he didn't.
You just said
the shirt grab cannot be
done. You said then, which is the second part, which is grabbing the shirt. So the first thing to consider, is it a knee to Silva or is Silva going down?
I think he kind of blocks Silva. He kind of stands. He sort of turns. He kind of half stoops a little bit, and he looks like he's leading with his knees from his body. To me,
you're telling me
what I remember.
No, I mean I don't want to back up Xhaka, but at least the defender in front of the offensive player should be able to stand there. I mean, because now you're making it seem like a defender has to move out of the way of the offensive player, which I don't believe is true. So if you have position, you should be able to hold your position there. Yes, you might. If you move towards him, which I don't think he moved towards him, I think he's got position, and then he made a move, and then Xhaka looked like he fell for it, and but like I said, I kind of feel like we've seen that multiple times, and it's mostly a dive. Yeah, I mean, once he grabs the jersey and then they go to VAR, it's over. For me,
let me ask then, if it had gone the other way around, because initially, right, when that incident happened, I was like, "Oh, we got away with one because the ref didn't call it." Had it have been the other way around and the ref didn't call it initially, would you be calling that for a penalty?
If it was going to go against my team, what do you mean? If it was going to go against my team?
Say yes, we want the penalty, but privately, I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, I'm using the rule that if it was the other way around, would I have thought it would have been a shout, or would I have felt hard done by if we hadn't have got a penalty? And I would have. Because
how many times I heard an Arsenal fan look at us dive and then get complaint about our players diving?
Not much.
I've heard it multiple times. We don't like it when our players dive. When Gabriel goes down or when Tierney goes down, none of you guys like it. 90% of the Arsenal fans don't like it. right? We don't, because I
Yeah,
hear it.
it's a
I
bit
hear it
hard.
a lot. I see it. I see it a lot, and people just don't like it because most of us are purists. We don't really feel like you need to do all that stuff, right? That's
That's
the new style of football, which isn't really. It's the way things are being officiated, but it's just not what people would like to see.
Let me
Right?
ask you another question then, right? If it wasn't Xhaka in that situation, it's the same situation, it's in the same part of the pitch, but it's a different Arsenal player that's involved, then what I'm asking is Xhaka a marked man by the officials?
Yeah.
Because it's Xhaka.
Well, he is for sure.
Not on that play.
They're still going to go to VAR if the guy grabs a jersey. I don't care who it is. That's
Let's
the
put it
cause and
another way,
effect
Gary.
of the VAR.
Can I
Just
join the
because the
conversation?
official,
Yeah, well, 1 second. Let's
the
put it another way, Gary.
official, as Dan said, and if you saw the video, the official's like, "No way, get up." He's telling him to get up because he knows that he dived. In his
Right.
head, the official's first thought was, "I saw it dive. I'm not gonna give you the yellow, but I'm not. I just want you to get up and let's continue on with this game."
So, Gary, do you pretend that Rodri is Granit Xhaka in the second half and Martinelli is Sterling, okay? You know the one where he slips right into the player. It's not even given a foul. It's a corner by the referee's estimation. Do you think Granit Xhaka would have gotten sent off in that situation?
So I was waiting for the second you to finish his talk. I definitely feel like they would have went to VAR to check it out.
And he would have gotten sent off because it's Granit Xhaka and he does have some previous, you know. Anyway, let's
ask a follow-up question then. Is there any way back for a marked man? If we think that Granit Xhaka is marked by the officials,
he's marked.
Can you ever get rid of that reputation, or is it yet another reason to move him on?
It's yet another reason to move him on because he's marked by half of the Arsenal fan base, if not more, at this point in time, you know.
And I agree with what the assembled says. He says Xhaka hasn't become a marked man; he's earned it, and that's what I mean. He has earned that. I don't mean he's being unfairly marked. All right, Tony.
Tony, come on.
I mean, I could jump in at any time. Tony, you just sit back there drinking your vodka. I mean, come on. If you want to talk,
we can
pull
jump
the vodka away
from
your mouth.
We can jump in at any time, but Tony's got to hop. Hop in.
I'm gonna because my voice sounds like a singer with that voice synthesizer on. I'm going to go out and in while Tony's talking.
All right, go ahead, Tony. Tell us, man. Tell us.
First, I didn't know the assembled box Stan and Gary in a room, and you guys were watching it Zabruder style for like 5 hours at a time. You've seen way too much of that play for me. But what I saw Xhaka move out of the way to let the player go by him. Then he ended up grabbing his shirt because he seen how wide open he was. That's what I saw in it, was Xhaka letting the attacker go by him. Then he grabbed him. I didn't see the knee. I didn't see what Gary and Stan saw. All I seen was Xhaka make a clear mistake, try to make up for the mistake with another mistake, like he always does, and he pulled another Xhaka.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. How am I coming across? Okay, better.
Yeah, you're
You're
good.
not back
You're just
in
a little
time
fuzzy,
anymore.
so I don't know if that's because of your if your machine's being taxed or what.
Adjust
But
your
your
glasses,
video
Gary.
is your
Adjust
video
your
looks
glasses, Gary.
no.
Gary,
It's
if you
not.
just wipe your screen with a tissue, maybe.
I'm trying to wipe it, but it's not clearing up.
Stan, it's a
Okay,
secret that Gary is on Pornhub.
So,
Like you're on dial-up, Ray, in the old days. That's what
That's what it sounds like. It's like AOL. What was it? AOL or whatever.
He's got a 56K
Welcome to
modem.
AOL.
It's on Netscape 2.0.
hey, no, listen, it's great to have all of
56K.
you.
56K
Great
Ray.
to have all of you in. Arsenal will take a first leg lead up to Anfield next weekend. The 2-1 lead. No, not really. Just kidding. Just joking. It's actually going to be next weekend at Anfield, and we do get the second leg at home, which I feel is an advantage. We'll have that discussion shortly. Gary, I think Granit Xhaka, though, he is that player who panics in that position. We saw him being lined up. So having given away a penalty, the referee has seen, in my opinion, Silva going down, simulating a dive. They don't get yellow cards. They don't get retrospective action anymore on this case. And having been called to the sideline, I do believe the Arsenal players have a performance to put in. The City players have a performance to put in. We sometimes forget about the referee's performance, and we think that they're, you know, perfect. In this case, Adwell is not perfect. He starts to lose control of the game, I believe, at this point in time. And
No, I
Stan
mean,
maybe disagrees with me. That's my
No, I was just laughing at Mr. Tom's comment. He said,
That's what I was
circle live in auto tune.
oh gosh, this is not good.
It might have been Winamp. I think it's Winamp, Sam.
Winamp back in the days. Winamp back in the days. Yeah. No, it's
Well, yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go really go out of the studio and come back in. Okay.
56K
All right.
raised.
Yeah.
Making an outro.
yeah. No, the officiating in that game, I think, and anybody who saw it would think something's just not right. And the fact that after that he writes up a report that basically gets us fined is basically another kick in the gut, right? I mean, you're already down, and you know what? Just to show you how much control I have, just to show you that I am bigger than you, just to show you that this is my, this field is all mine. I'm gonna put a report in there, and now essentially he's got the backing of the FA and everybody else.
Crazy.
And Arsenal gets fined for doing things that players do all the time. I mean,
Wasn't
all
there
the
a fine
time.
as well for some of our fans apparently through objects at
No, the
Man
fine
City
was for
fans.
players being out of control.
Oh,
There are two. I think there was something about maybe the fans going after Rodri when he kind of slid in and basically started screaming at the
How
home
much
the
better,
home,
Ray?
the home,
Because he
home
fined
fans.
How much better now?
Gabriel, right? Gabriel got booked for dissent, but apparently, right, Gabriel, when he went over to the ref and he asked him why did he not go to the screen for the first one, Odegaard, and go. That's what he asked him, and I think it was our number 2, the Dutch fella. I can't remember his name.
Stu Albert Stuenberg.
He said we looked into it. There was no foul language. There was nothing out of order. He just asked him why, and the referee booked him. And I think that with that booking, when they all started to the players from each team started to like bunch up, somebody came running in, and Gabriel got a push, and he got pushed back into the ref. And I got a feeling that the ref didn't like that because the ref had his card out in his hand before he booked Gabriel. It was almost like I'm booking someone. I'm booking somebody, and he didn't know who to book. And then Gabriel
And he chased
asked
him
him,
down the
and
field with his car.
Gabriel asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll book you. I'm booking you." That's how it came across to me.
Yeah.
When he got bundled over, he took that as a bit of an affront, even though it was accidental. It wasn't a direct pushing him, and he had his card in his hand before he booked anyone. It was almost like he was trying to figure out who's going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well,
yeah. I mean, I the fact that he, like you said, he's in the box trying to do what I believe, isn't that the side judge's thought? He's the one that can make that review at that point. That's usually where he is. Otherwise, like you said, they've got technology to handle that. And if an official can control themselves enough that they don't make certain calls because they want VAR to take advantage, then all of a sudden you're telling me for 90 minutes, he has the one blip he has is when is in the box, right? That's the one time he decides to make a mistake. And you know what? They didn't even call him on it, right? Because he's not supposed to be in there, right? And his decision for being in there doesn't make any sense because we know that they hold back putting the flag up. They hold back making a decision, right? If they think there might be a handball and the ball goes in and there's a couple of movements and the ball goes in the net, then they will hold back and let VAR decide whether or not there was handball long before, right? They don't even bother anymore.
I mean,
right?
for a brief moment, it was almost like Man City had another defender in the box. Martinelli had to totally reshape himself to take his shot.
Yeah, and I was somewhat critical of Martinelli for missing that chance. He should really have put it away as well. But seeing the referee move into the box, like you said, Stan, he's got the watch. It's going to buzz if it crosses. They've got goal line technology. This is an inexperienced referee coming back into the Premier League and probably forcing things a little bit too much with his own performance. And we've
He
seen
hasn't. This is the first time he did a game.
maybe not the first time, but he's been away from the Premier League for quite a few years. And to answer the Sembles question, I would not be questioning the referee's performance if we had won. No, because you sort of move on as a fan. I do anyway. I don't
I
know
don't
about
think
the
Man
others.
City got their first booking until the 94th minute, and
Yeah.
that was for taking your shirt off for the goal.
And then the
celebration.
95th minute, right? So they got two in like the last 3 minutes of extra time.
The ref telling me that there were no other fouls by Man City on our players for 94 minutes that deserved a booking or anything. I mean, come on.
So Arsenal, Stan, have been charged £20,000, which is not a lot of money really, and Arsenal have not challenged the decision, so we have to take it, pay the fine. But in effect, we failed to control our players when it was the officiating who frustrated the life out of the players on the field.
Do you think there's any shout for if Mikel Arteta is at that match standing on the sidelines? Do things still get out of hand as they did? You know what it's like, right? We've all been at school, and all of a sudden your math teacher's off, you get the supply teacher. Do you know what I mean? Halfway through the lesson, you just think, "Fuck this shit," and you just start acting up. You know what I mean? And giving the teacher a runaround.
I think we had a controlled, composed performance for the majority of that game, and I don't think Mikel Arteta would have been able to change anything or affect anything from the sideline. Gary, what's your thoughts on it?
No, I mean, like you said, that first 45 minutes kind of told me that, Stu or Albert or,
AirPod Albert.
Airport Al was actually doing a good job there. And, I mean, no, I think we got pushed in too many times and eventually we exploded, which is going to happen. I mean, you saw Arteta do the exact same thing against Liverpool, right? Right, he got pushed enough, and then he exploded as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's the manager, so I mean.
And look, I was gonna bring the intro. If you can still hear me, I was gonna bring the intro. Like, we have a young, exciting team. The team we have reminds me of David O'Leary's young Leeds team, early 2000s, and teams are starting to take a look at us now and get a little bit worried. And I don't know if the narrative should be that Liverpool was worried about us, but it definitely, there's no smoke without fire, right? Salah's gone, Mane's gone. It was very opportunistic for them to be able to get this game postponed today and give them a week. They're going to go to an FA Cup game, which is a lot easier for them, and they'll get another week to have some injuries heal up or whatever the reason was. I don't really think 3 COVID cases was enough to warrant a postponement of this kind. I think the EFL and the FA have been put on notice for this. And Mr. Tom said, history is written by the winners, and in football, the winners move on to the next game while the losers come through everything that happened. That's kind of what we're doing right now.
I bet Mr. Tom's been doing a lot of combing lately then.
Yeah.
Leeds, eh?
Please. But they did come up with the win against Burnley. 20,000 is not a lot of money to Arsenal, but it will pay for a nice lunch for those. PR1, public relation 1. In suits at the
I mean, this is just a power play. That's all it is. It's a power play, basically. Get back in your place. This is not. This is, and like Stan said, and like many have said, if this is entertainment, then I don't want it, right? And obviously, it sounds like they're trying to move it towards an entertainment type business, which none of us really want. Not even. I don't think the players want that either, because eventually it will come back to haunt them. I mean, I think it's a bad precedence to take.
We found
each player.
Think about this. You have Atwell in the box, getting in the middle of a play, and he's endangering one of the footballers, which is the biggest commodity the FA has, right? He should get punished for that.
Yeah.
He potentially could have put if he had made the wrong move, he could have put himself right in the middle, right in front of Martinelli. And then what if Martinelli strikes him with his foot because he's shooting at the ball? Is that a red card because you hit a referee?
Now that's entertainment.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Because I mean that's what he's doing, right? When he's putting himself in that type of situation in the box, people are swinging at that ball that's flying there. We see it all the time. It's a red card, right? If it's two players, what if it's an official? Because you think about this, you see an official get in front of you and you're about to kick the ball. Do you miss it? Do you miss it because you get distracted by the official and he takes one right in the
there
face?
is a rule now that the referee is no longer part. He is actually part of the game. So if the ball hits the referee in the middle of the field, the game is stopped.
If he's in a box and the ball hits him and you kick him in the back, what happens?
The game is definitely getting stopped at that point in time.
See what I think is with all this stuff that's been happening to us, whether it's VAR decisions, whether it's the FA wanting to give us petty fines, whether it's games being postponed, I really hope that Mikel is looking at all of this and thinking, how can I use this? I want him to be playing a siege mentality card in the dressing room. Yes. I want him to be saying to everyone, they fucking hate us. They don't want us to fucking do well. Every time there's something about us in the paper, like the FA this or this, that, and the other, or another player from another team talks about, put that fucker up on the wall and just say, tap it and just say, you see what they're saying? Mm-hmm. Have it. I want it to be like it's us against everyone else. No one likes.
You know what? When Arteta got COVID the first time, I thought that's exactly what he would do because that was almost like a timeout on your Arsenal career. Sit back because now you're laid up in bed or whatever you're doing. Think about what just happened over the last month or two, and then kind of come up with a plan about how you want to go about this because you've learned some things now. You've been out there on the pitch because I mean his first game back, what was like City or something like that, like some big games in December, right? So at that point I was like, all right, so this is COVID number 2, and he watched his team go out there for 45 minutes and play probably their best football in a 45-minute span, probably since he's been there, and he wasn't on the bench, right? He might have been part of the the decisions and all of that stuff, but they played everything about that first 45 minutes is probably what you want to see going forward. And if Arteta goes in there and we never see it again, you have to wonder what's going on. Is he hurting himself and hurting his team, right? Because that looked perfect, right? What more do you want out of a 45-minute period outside of maybe us making some more shots? Right.
I would even say up to maybe 58 minutes or so that we, even for a little bit after the first half, I thought we were still, when we came out, we were still on top, and then it started to fall apart with the decisions and whatnot. So, you know what, Gary, had we managed to keep every guy on the pitch, I'm telling you, we fucking had them. And I was one that was
right there.
Everybody was before that match was going that we were going to do something. I was a little bit nervous. I was a little bit erring on the side of caution. I thought if we can get a draw, nice. If we lose, let's at least make a good account of ourselves. Right up to about 60 minutes, I thought my eyes were like saucers, mate. I'm looking at the team. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
some of the football style that we were playing in the first half was expansive. We were catching them in traps, especially for that first goal. We took the ball off of them. We spread the ball across, and it looked like a really simple goal in the end. But Saka does, sweep it into the net. Brilliant stuff. And Steve Denham said we failed to control our players, and the ref did fail to control the game. And exactly.
No, think about it. I don't know if you guys remember that one possession where City has the ball. They're deep on their half. They're trying to get out. And then next thing you know, Partey steps in and says, "Nope, that's my ball," and we reset and we come back, right? And you're like, "What team has done that?" And we did that a lot.
consistent.
They had the ball as
first
much
half.
as they wanted it, and
Yeah.
as soon as we decided to turn up the heat a little bit, we just got the ball and we reset and we started our offense at that point.
It was almost like a mirror of some of the games we've played in the past where they had more possession than us, but no shots. We had less possession, but we were doing more damage. And usually that happens to us a lot. Usually we end up having quite a lot of possession, but we do nothing with the ball. The team that we're playing has less possession. They get a chance to tuck it away. So I'm seeing improvement, and I can't wait to play them again. And they know they got out of jail. They know they got out of jail. We had a man for man. Our fullbacks were doing an excellent job on their wide players. Our midfield were dropping into the holes when the fullbacks went up. It was a very good performance.
You know,
The only way
we might not play City again, though.
Yeah,
right?
the only way we'll meet them is maybe in the FA Cup.
They're lucky they don't have to play us again, but everybody's seen a blueprint of how to. You have. I mean, we were pretty disciplined, which is one of the things I've been. You know, I've always said, can we be disciplined? You got 5 fingers up there. Nice, Tony.
He is asking.
Go ahead. I stopped.
Tony, if you want to go to the toilet, just excuse yourself.
I know exactly. You don't have to put your hand up. I mean, you're an adult. Just will yourself to the loo. Come on, let's go.
Go ahead, Tony.
I don't even remember what the fuck I was going to say now.
Lolo said, "Love how Rodri slipped and took out Martinelli, not out of control and slipped on a £1 billion pitch." It'll come back to you, Tony.
No, I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that discipline to play that way we did for 45 minutes. I enjoyed it because no matter what they tried to do, we were okay with it. And you know, when I was sitting there watching it, we just kept them in front of us the whole time. They weren't able to get past whatever defender was sitting in front of the ball. They had to go to the left, to the right, go back. They could never. And then in the second half, that's when it started to break down because I just remember one play where Lacazette is sitting up there. He's trying to defend the ball, and they're able to get past him, and they break it right through the middle. And I'm like, oof, you know, that's where we started to break. We probably break that physically and mentally. It's going to be hard to do that for 90 minutes. And you saw it happen, and it's kind of like that was a little bit of an opening for them to feel like, you know what, maybe we can get something. And I can't remember what time in the game that was, but it definitely gave them some hope.
I mean, when was the last time you saw seen a Man City player having to sprint back and slide to get a ball off the line? I mean, you don't see
calamity. It was calamitous.
You don't see that. And I think what it is I think we've learned a lesson because at the beginning of the season, right, the first 3 games that we played at the beginning of this season, yes, the second 2 were the tough ones, but somehow, I don't know why, we made a lot of excuses for ourselves before a ball was kicked at the beginning of the season. For some reason, it was okay that Brentford beat us because they're new to the league and they've got a new stadium and they're feeling all happy. I don't buy that. And then we had the next 2 games with Man City and Chelsea, and everybody, even before those games were coming up, was saying, "Well, we can write those games off. You know, we can forget about them games. We're not going to do anything there."
Ray did that. He said the first 2 games were fucking preseason.
We said so much globally. I think the players must have heard it, and the players even played like that. The players played like, well, we're not expected to do anything here.
Don't forget, Stan, we were without Tommy Assa, we were without Ramsdale, we were without certain players who have transformed our season since. You know,
we've learned about those players, but would you not agree that the attitude has changed?
Yeah,
the attitude has changed.
Finally.
You know what? The players that played in that game or have been with Arteta for a year. So if Arteta had a plan, I would expect
Arteta come from? You're saying Arteta all night long. You're saying Arteta.
But you see the attitude amongst everybody before we went into this City game compared to what it was like at the beginning of the season. There's something to be said about the way that, you know, the feeling, it permeates through the belief. And the beginning of the season, we were talking like we weren't ready to start the season. And our first game was Brentford. We should have caned Brentford. We should have blown them out.
When Arteta's nephew tells you that the first 3 games of the season or that's basically that's his preseason. Maybe you should listen. He told us,
Listen,
right, nephew.
Hey, we're sitting pretty. We're in fourth place right now. We do need to have a good second half of the season, but yeah, those first three games were not good. And you, as an optimistic Arsenal supporter, you do want to make excuses and you do want to rationalize what happened. Brentford, a new team coming up. I don't want to relitigate the whole story.
Ray, stop your fucking excuses.
But Stan, you've seen the Fozcast podcast with Ramsdale and Ben Foster. If you haven't, I'll urge you to take a look at it. It's absolutely brilliant with Ramsdale. He talks about the kids and how great they are in training. Steve Denham has messaged me as well. He's watched it, and the likes of Saka. He holds puppies for Christmas, but he doesn't take any prisoners in training. He goes in hard.
I used to hold puppies, but I got in trouble for that. But that's a whole nother story.
A whole other story. Now, compare and contrast that with another video we've seen of Aubameyang out partying, and he's actually picked up COVID.
How do you assume what we watch, Ray? You don't know what we're watching.
Compare and contrast. You're talking about our transformation in our season, Stan. Aubameyang in the team, we struggled. Aubameyang out of the team, we're doing better, and the kids are really flourishing as well.
I mean, Obama who?
Yeah.
Obama what?
It's a little bit.
Obama's blood clot. Right?
It's a little bit. My Jamaican nan will be turning in their grave right hearing you say that. But
I can't believe Ray just said it.
You said it on TV. You said it on live show. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Bloody tampon, Ray.
It's been said before. It's
I mean,
okay.
he had a really unlucky break. I mean, he got let go from Arsenal early, so he could go off to the AFCON, and he can't even start for them now. I mean, I've got a feeling that he must have run over somebody's cat in his Lamborghini, and it belonged to an old gypsy witch who's put a curse on him or something, because he can't catch a break. However, it's not really our concern at the moment. Someone said in the chat box, he's got COVID. We might not be able to get rid of him now. We don't have COVID forever. It's only for a couple of weeks and that. Do you know what I mean? And if somebody's interested in him, they're still going to make a bid for him towards the end of the season. And personally, I hope that happens one way or another. I want him to go off. Who's that man peeping out behind Gary's shoulder?
I saw John Smite in the. I don't know if he's still around. So I thought, I better put this out because I told him I was going to make it my background. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but yeah, I've got a little Ian Wright on my shoulder over here.
You actually look a bit more like Sol Campbell in that for some reason than Ian Wright now in that particular one.
And he's looking very, very smug as well. Steve, they're helping him get a new contract like Barcelona.
It just looks like Ian Wright, like Gary always does.
Yeah, John's still here, so there we go. So John, thank you for the picture. I like your work.
And also, John, thank you for the logo. Great work today. Really, really.
Yeah, I saw that. It's good that.
Yeah,
sweet work.
Ray needed an update.
It did need a refresher, right? It was looking kind of like the Emirates Stadium, a little bit washed out.
Just kind of like you tonight, 56K Ray.
Like my internet right now. It all ties in around here. It all ties in around the flight.
It all comes back around.
So, yeah, Stan, things looking up. The young players do have a look at that Ramsdale podcast with Ben Foster. It's Fozcast, Fozcast. Apparently, he's doing bits in the YouTube world. Wasn't the best goalkeeper ever, but we'll let that slide, right? Yeah, so listen. Anything else on the postponement? Rick Parry. It's a little bit fishy about that. We will play Liverpool next week away from home. So let's have a little quick chat about that, Gary. How do you like the tie now? It is going to be a two-legged tie, and we'll save a little moment to talk about Spurs from yesterday after this as well. But we're going away from home first, and for me, coming back in the second leg at home would be advantageous to us.
Yeah, no, I mean, the team needs to look at that last game and then come out to this one and basically, go. You know what? It doesn't matter where we play now. They didn't want to play us, so they're scared to play us, right? And they have to use anything they can, any Jedi mind tricks to go into that match, basically on a positive, feeling confident about what they can do. We've seen them do it, and if since Liverpool won't have their full squad anyways, that means that even if we don't have Partey, who's really the only one we're really missing right now,
Yeah.
that we can still get something out of this match if we play our close to what we did against City, right? I mean, we're gonna have to figure out who's going to take that role of Partey. But you know what? They should be pissed, and this is I say it all. I've said it multiple times, right? After a game like that, I hope this team. I want to hear a pissed off Arteta come out and talk about how he's upset with the way that game went. You know, So yeah, so John Smite's going to be he's going to be. You know what? I hope they. I hate to say it, but I hope they want to kick you out of the stands. That's all. I'm sorry. I just hope that at some point in the game they're like, you're not even saying anything. You're just smiling,
Sorry,
and they're just like, get out of this section, buddy.
I don't know
before
if
I kill you. That's what.
Have you had a chance to see Fever Pitch, Gary?
I did. Yeah.
The part where when he's a young kid and he goes off to, I think it's Reading, and they're having a go at him. You should be supporting your local team. You live 5 miles down the road. You should be supporting your local team. That's what they'll be saying to John. So, yeah, what could go wrong, John? But
no, I mean, you know what? We need that. The mentality has to be every time we go on the pitch, we expect to win. No matter who's playing. Yes, it won't be a full squad, and it shouldn't be the full squad, but we need to go out there and, basically be an extension of what Arteta wanted us to do and what we've seen the team do. So, we should go out there and, it should be over, hopefully, by halftime. All right. So it's a cup game. We get 5 subs. Is that right? Is this the cup game where we get the 5 subs or?
Yeah.
Yep. Remind Arteta of that, right? Or Gary?
So, yeah. And we don't even know, is Arteta, is he back?
He will be back for the cup game.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear what he has to say, because I'm just like, he needs to praise that team, and he needs to basically be upset with the result and some of the things that happened. I don't care if he gets fined. I think the players deserve that, right? They deserve to hear that, from their manager when he gets an opportunity to speak. We see if he's learned anything from Pep, he's going to learn to at least be able to relay that message out there somehow, some way. Mm-hmm.
I think Mikel Arteta should walk into the changing room with a briefcase, right? And just throw 20 grand large on the table and say, don't worry, I'll take care of this. Fuck them.
Dan, do you actually believe Arsenal are doing well? We've dropped 7 points. Yeah, we're doing well. I believe we're doing well.
This, because of all this congestion of all of these games, why not do they should have had a bit of foresight, and the semi-finals of the League Cup should just be a knockout at a neutral ground. The 2 teams go to a neutral ground. It's a 1 game. None of these 2 legs. And I say that because I think that we've probably got more chance of beating Liverpool in 1 than we have over 2 legs.
Yeah.
Letting them regroup.
Stop all this leg talk, Stan.
What are your thoughts on the away leg first, Dan? I mean, we can go up there and keep it
Why
quiet.
do you guys keep talking about legs?
For the first half of the game. I'd take it back home where we've been really good at home. We know what we might need to do at the Emirates in the second leg, provided we don't get blown away in the first leg.
I just think we'd do better if it was a 1-round affair.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 rounds, Tony.
Yes, much better
There's
than
Brownie trying to claim credit for saying Alba was going to go to Newcastle first.
Brownie just showed up because of Ashiba's out.
It's always suspicious that Brownie's always saying he was being laughed at every time he comes up with some blockbuster story months later. I'm bantering a little bit, just a little bit. Tony, what do you want to do? First leg, you like the 2 legs, right?
I like two-legged
Bada boom.
affairs. I like two-legged affairs. Liverpool wanted a one-legged affair. I'd rather play them over 2. I wouldn't. The COVID delay, stupid of me, 3 players out. The game should have went ahead, but they're giving the FA money apparently, or whatever's going on there.
Tony said John Smith make a 56K rat from the mid 90s, and as usual,
56K Ray.
John, it's okay. None of us can understand what he's talking about.
You don't know what a 56K modem is,
John.
Ray?
For his costume sets.
Can I just say to John Smart, we don't know what Tony's talking about, mate. But we just smile and nod.
It's okay, John. Lakonga will step up. So Partey out, Gary. Lakonga in.
Yeah, that's the way it was set up. So yeah, definitely, I expect him to come in. I expect him to do the same thing, similar things, and he will be playing. He won't be playing a top their number 1 team anyways, right? So he's going to have probably just enough time to get himself acclimated to playing that position, and maybe we'll see something better. But I expect, if and when we do go back to our starting 11, I expect it to look no different. And hopefully we'll have better finishing, and then it won't really matter, right?
Yep.
I mean,
The Sambo said, Ray, there's no advantage to Arsenal playing second legs at home. Example, Villarreal Olympiacos springs to mind. That was under various different parts of the team. We brought 5 or 6 players in over the summer, and I think it's fair to say they've all excelled at different parts of the season and done really, really well for us. I think it's going to be very, very difficult to actually pick who's going to be the best signing at the end of this season from those 6.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the other part to this whole thing is, like you said, Arteta's finally getting his players in, and it's working out so far. Most managers don't get that. I mean, you look at our starting 11 compared to the first season he was here with Arsenal, right? How many players is still there? 1?
I don't know. I hope you have the answer.
Tierney, maybe? I mean, outside of Tierney, who else?
Lacazette, Xhaka, right?
Okay,
Holding.
so 3, yeah?
Holding.
No, Holding is not a starter and should never even get on the pitch.
All right. Yeah.
Starting 11. So we've got 3.
Maybe 3.
Saka and Zaka.
And by no means,
Saka wasn't starting right away, though, was he?
Sons of Arteta, by no means.
He was starting right away for Arteta?
For Emery, he was. I don't
for
remember
Arteta.
Arteta.
That guy. Lego head. Arteta. Yeah, what is this?
Is Ray frozen?
I wonder what the players are saying in the change room after the City game. I wonder if it's on the show. They're recording with Amazon.
I would like to hear that for sure.
It's going to be interesting.
I'd like to hear what Gabriel had to say. Maybe they have that the video from the in the hallway after the match too. Because you know what, that would be golden, right?
We have an ambitious project to maybe do a podcast of an alternative Amazon all or nothing Arsenal fan circle podcast.
What does that mean?
I thought you were going to talk about conspiracy theories with Stan.
It's going to mean like a humorous look at Arsenal's season through the eyes of the Arsenal fan circle panel group.
From Comrade Stonsky.
I'm going to lean a lot on Stan because he's really, really good at that stuff, so.
Stan likes
the wheels are already turning.
The wheels are going to turn. There's going to be lots of Josh.
Next thing you know, there's going to be like a box at each one of our houses, and it's like, don't open it until the show. And it's like, what? Just don't open it until the show. You can't. This is like, how they have like the cliffhangers in the TV shows, and nobody knows until you know. Well, there you go.
Don't open box 3. Yeah. We got something in the works. Well, we've just briefly talked about it. Maybe.
Hey, wait, whoa, John! Don't do that.
All right. I heard it was only the League Cup matches. We have 5 subs. Yep.
Hmm.
Very true. So let's take a moment to pay our condolences to Tottenham yesterday, losing 2-0 to Chelsea. And
They scored 2 goals. What are you talking about? They had a good day.
they scored 1 at least, right?
I scored 2, man.
Gary, Emerson Royal, we could have gotten Emerson Royal and they could have gotten Tomiyasu. I think we did the best out of that situation.
We're okay where we are, right? We'll take what we got. So
we're not returning Tomiyasu to the store with the receipt.
No returns.
Yet, right?
No returns.
I mean, I didn't know anything about Emerson Royal before we were signed with him. I thought before that sounds like something you'd order at a McDonald's, yeah? An Emerson Royale with cheese or something.
A Royal Emerson with cheese. They eat mayo. They slapper mayo all over that shit.
But we've definitely come out better there, right? Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people were dazzled because it was another Brazilian, right? Everyone thought that we were signing Roberto Carlos or Cafu. But I think we've come out a lot better in that position.
Absolutely.
But it's also not down to the individuals who they're playing with and the way that they're set up as well. Who knows? Maybe Emerson Royal could have thrived in the way that we play.
That's the thing, right? Who's he play for, right? I mean, I always feel like if Son played for us, he would look much better. So,
A little bit later, we're going to go through the squad as well. We're going to look at what we paid for players and if it was money well spent. And we might realize we've actually done pretty good recently. So.
Yeah, you see, I knew you were going to do that because I did look at that. Yes, the last 2 windows were good, and we did okay in the window before that. But the one before that, not so much. So it was
about the 12 before that.
It's looked good in the last 2 for sure.
Tony, you want to have a word about Tottenham?
What about them?
Are they in the Premier League?
I mean, by Tottenham standards, that own goal was pretty high up there, right? Anyone y'all saw the own goal from Davies?
Nope.
Okay, so cross comes in, defender heads it away, but heads it onto the other defender's shoulder or head, and it goes in the goal.
And the first one was he tried to clear it, and his foot was too wide open, and it just deflected right into the goal. It was like he was an offensive, like a striker in the right position.
Yeah.
It was
so technically 2 own goals. You're right. Technically 2 own goals, and you'll love to see it. Stan 2-0 disadvantage is just enough to give them hope for the second leg, but we know they're not going to go through, right?
I didn't see that game, but the best own goal that I've ever seen Arsenal score, I can't remember who it was against, but it was Lee Dixon. And when he scored the goal, I jumped up and went
the back pass.
And then I realised that he proper whacked it like he was a striker.
Well, it was about 30 yards, 40 yards.
Half jumping, I'm like, but that's an goal. What's he doing? Spectacular goal it was. Almost ripped the back of the net off.
Yeah, Leeds haven't been in the AFL Cups semi-final since 1996. Arsenal have only won it twice in 93 and 87. Funny enough, the first trophy that I celebrated as a fan of Arsenal. So it's kind of one that's near and dear to my heart. Charlie Nicholas scoring 2 goals in 87 against Liverpool. There you go. When you're around the game enough, these things come around, and there's little omens you got to look out for. It's the manager's tactics that have made us lose, Ray, not the players. If you're a chef, you want better knives.
You know what? That's not true.
You want better tools.
That's not true because a lot of these managers that came in without their own players got the best out of them.
Who?
So you know what? You can't
Arsenal. No, keep it Arsenal.
Keep it Arsenal.
Yeah, Emery got more out of him, did he?
We're a better scoring team with him, right?
Yep.
Defense was poor.
We had
right?
Aubameyang 3 years younger.
Now you're making excuses. You would keep moving the goalpost. Go on, keep moving it. No matter what we say, we're changing it.
Rainbow Ray always has.
How about that Lee Dixon own goal? That was a great one. It's that time.
Anti-Arteta rant. Take it away. What do you want? There's nothing anti-Arteta to say right now, right? I mean, like I said, I feel like he got Gary
versus Arteta, the real rivalry.
Go ahead, Tony.
I just wonder if Gary could settle on
Dream.
Arteta or Arteta. You keep switching between the two tonight. Pick one.
Just whatever comes out. I don't plan this thing.
There's no planning. We're kind of jumping all over the place, but it's okay. Stan wants to talk about transfers, so I think we'll get into that. Tottenham, we're safe to say we want to win this trophy, but we don't want Tottenham to win it. Chelsea have a 2-0 lead. I don't think Tottenham are going to the final. But anyway, Stan, you want to kick us off with January transfers?
Well, the window's open now, and I think the area that we really need to look at between now and next January, we've got 4 strikers on our books. We've got other players that can play in that role, but we've got 4 main name strikers on our books, and it looks like 3 of them have their foot out of the door for one reason or another. Aubameyang's banished. Lacazette has been offered a deal that he's turned down, and the same with Eddie. And then Balogun, it looks like he's going to be going off on loan to Middlesbrough. So we need to do something. And I know that BX is in the chat, and I know that he likes this idea as well. And we spoke about it over on the Same Old Arsenal on Tuesday night. And this is what I've come up with for this area. If it all went my way, if Lacazette doesn't want to take a 2-year deal, right, I wouldn't offer him any more than a 2-year deal. And I'd be looking to get the wheels in motion to start selling Lacazette just after the first year, to start getting the wheels in motion, to get some money back. But if Lacazette doesn't want to sign for us, I would like to swap him out for Raul Jimenez from Wolves. Around about the same age, I think Jimenez might be a year older, but Lacazette gets paid £180,000 a week. Raul Jimenez gets £41,000 a week. So there's definitely wiggle room to entice him financially. And at the same time, I think I'd also like to bring in Jonathan David as well, the Canadian. No bias there. The Canadian is playing over at Lille.
Sure, Stan, sure.
He's 21. So he knows that he's not coming in to be a main starter every week.
Jonathan David?
Yeah, from Lille.
Yeah.
He's 21. Good with both feet. Can play as a second striker as well. There could be games where he could be playing alongside Jimenez, but you've got Jimenez who's oven ready and can hit the ground running, while someone like a Jonathan David is settling in.
You see, the only thing with Jimenez is you're basically switching out the same age of a striker for a cheaper outlay, right?
Yeah, but if Lacazette doesn't want to sign, I'm thinking of the experience side of it, right? Yeah. Bringing in someone who can hit the ground running while other players will come in from other leagues and will need a little bit of time to settle. And it's someone that they can look to who knows the Premier League and can guide them through it. And I think Jimenez is, he would be able to provide something for us. The other one that I like is the one that I sent you yesterday that I just started looking at.
Benfica.
Darwin Núñez from Benfica, who someone only put me onto a couple of days ago. If you don't know him too much, look him up at Benfica. Solid. What was his stats, Ray? Something like 16 goals in 16 games, all told. So far this season, he's got 3 and 3.
Pretty decent.
That's what your direct message said.
I like that more, Stan, than Jimenez. I just don't know if Jimenez. I don't know if we're going to target a player that old as well. I think
What do you mean old? Players don't go to bed right the day before their 30th birthday, tuck up in bed, and when they wake up in the morning, they can't get out of bed and they need a fucking walking stick and help to get up and down the stairs.
This is Logan's run, right? You're over 30. Over 30, it's.
But again, a 2-year contract, and you want to start, greasing the wheels, maybe for him to leave after a year and a half, right? To give yourself some breathing room. He'll be hungry. I think it would be considered a step up for him. Yeah. And I was shocked when I found out the difference in wages between him and Lacazette. 180, 41. That's a fucking huge raft, especially when we finished 8th the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Well, look at
like,
Eddie. He
I
gets
would like to see him
70,000 a week.
play and fit in with the rest of the players before I would do that. I don't actually.
What does that mean? How in the world do you do that? You can't. You can't. What do you mean? You have to want to wait. We don't get trial runs. I mean,
No,
I just
no. But if you bring him in and Lacazette has gone, knowing what Lacazette gives you, you're taking a risk when you're switching something out.
But if Lacazette doesn't want to stay, then he's gone. That's the.
Yeah, obviously.
He won't take the money that if the plan is this is the maximum we're going to do for you, and he says no. What do?
Right now, I changed the subject because the assemble says when things get tough for me.
No, I'm asking you your question because you're making it sound like you know what Jimenez is like.
Let's do something. Let's do another topic. I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the age dynamic that I always talk about that would make sense, right? You get that striker who's coming to always at least for this team right now.
There's about a 5-second gap from when I said that to when Stan laughed.
Yeah, Boris Johnson, man, he just slip onto another subject.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Lacazette wants to move on, Gary, I will try to answer the question he assembled. I will try to.
This is what you get here on the Arsenal fan circle. You get Slippery Ray. You get
talked around in circles.
Rainbow Ray, Slippery Ray. Irish time. You get it all here.
Tony, I can't have you speak because if I let you speak, someone will say I'm trying to dodge a question or something like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, Lacazette goes. You don't know what you're going to get. You have to use the best analytics that you can, Gary.
But it's not just Lacazette that's going to go. 3 out. Well, all 4 will be going, including Balogun and Loan. So we not. Someone said in the chat there, Steve Denham. What about Jonathan David replacing Lacazette? But we're replacing 3 players. Yeah. That's why I like a balance of a Jimenez and
Jonathan David would be replacing Eddie and Nketiah probably, or Aubameyang.
Yeah. So, and then the guy that I sent to you yesterday, the Darwin Núñez, someone like that in there as well. There's three there. We're going to need more than 1 between now and next January, I think.
And I've been saying for the last few months that we have neglected our forwards, and even to the point of addressing the right back. I wanted to get a striker, but we got Tomiyasu. I cannot complain at all. Tony.
What? Why I raised my hand? Or
you wanted to speak? You can
go. That's my name.
I thought the symbol was only good at redacting things, but what were you asking me, Ray?
He's good at picking on Ray. That's what he's good at. He likes to poke me a little bit. So, but that's all good. We all have our favorites. We all have people who favor us and want to see us squirm.
Where did Ian Wright go?
I just can't do my best Bojo and switch smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean?
What do you guys think of Calvert-Lewin? Because that name comes up quite a lot, and it's not someone I'm a bit 50-50. I'd take him, but I think somebody else ahead of him, if you know what I mean.
I think he's a player.
What about the Serbian kid we're looking at?
I think Calvert-Lewin, I always struggle with the name, is like Harry Kane. He's been held back at the club that he's at. Harry Kane could do better at Tottenham away from Tottenham if he found himself a decent club. I think DCL, if he left Everton and left that setup, he would flourish and he would score goals. The only issue is his injury, his latest injury.
I'll tell you another guy that I think that we could maybe try and see if what's happening. Mason Greenwood.
Yeah,
he does not get a look in, and the guy knows where the goal is. He's a finisher, but for whatever reason, it's one of those ones where it's like we keep bringing in a big name, therefore we've got to keep playing these big names, and you've got this guy that's come up through the ranks. Did you not see him at the beginning of the season when he played like 3 games in a row for him? Scored in every one, didn't he?
I think he blows hot and cold. I think he's a little bit of a Theo Walcott. He's got a Theo Walcott feel about him, for me.
I mean, why couldn't it be because of the environment he's in?
It could be United. If I said the same thing about Everton and DCL, yeah,
I mean, because every player that we're going to look at, it could be the environment. I mean, you go out there and you get a deuce on, you're going to say, all right, you know what? It's the environment. So he's scoring like one goal a game, and he comes here. I know it's a totally different league and all that, but what the skill set that he has is what you got to look at. I mean, you can't. I don't think Arsenal's looking at the entire play of a play when they bring them in, because if you look at Ramsdale, you have to look at the skill set. You can't look at everything around him in
I
terms of
think
his stats and stuff, because they don't show now, right? You look at the number of goals he's given up in his career, and then you look at him now, and you're like, well, that's why the evaluation is definitely key to this whole thing. It has nothing to do with
why the
what you're
club.
looking at.
That's why, Gary. I think the club is moving really well and identifying the right players. We as fans, some of us take umbrage to a player who's been relegated twice, but realize he had to have 4 players and more players in front of him that impacted those stats against him. And he said in that podcast as well, Ramsdale, Stan, that he looked across at the Leeds game, and Melier, who's the Leeds goalkeeper, he was like, "That was me last year at Sheffield United. I was getting peppered with shots left, right, and center, and you can make 6 good saves, but you still can lose 3-0 if you're in a relegation style team. You know what I mean?" Ray said, "Isn't Laka hungry?" And we don't know if Jimenez will be hungry. BX said, "Jimenez is Mexican, he has pride and will play till he can't." Lacazette's really looking for security. I think he's looking for at least 2-year contract. Am I fair in saying that, Tony?
I think if just quickly, if we bring in a host of strikers, I think one of them needs to come from this division.
I mean, you look at Mason is
Ollie
not
Watkins.
even 20. Mason's not even 21 yet.
Ollie Watkins.
I mean, if you're talking about the age dynamic that they're looking for, he's not even 20.
Is that too young, Gary?
But we need 3, right? So he could be one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get one about his age.
Yeah.
We get one about maybe sort of 24, 25-ish. Jimenez is 30. So, I think that's a good spread.
This leads me into maybe we want to talk a little bit more about January transfers, but this leads me into how good can we be, Stan? How good can this team become? And maybe the business we're going to do here in January and in the summer will have a big bearing on how good the team can be, because we have a striker and a midfielder position available, But are we waiting for a rotation? A Liverpool team aging, a City team, are we waiting? Are we gearing up for a rotation? Because things go in cycles and circles.
You can't be on somebody else's rotation. You got to be on your own.
But you can wait. You can gear up and be ready.
You don't wait for another team to fail and to another team to get old. All City has to do is just reload.
Yep.
So that's not even a good plan, even just for me when I hear it.
By the natural course of things, we've gone young and we're getting young players into our team. They're going to take a year or two to really, really challenge for the league title, right?
That's why if you get players of different age, you can speed it up a little bit, right? You bring Jimenez in.
Win now.
No. It's not that. It's just if you're talking, you want us to compete, but those players need to know how to play as well. And that's where you need a mentor, somebody sitting in front of them if you can, or sitting behind them, pushing them along. All right. I mean, that's what you get. So if Lacazette had a player that was younger than him that basically needed some tutelage on the sidelines, that player would play, and Lacazette would come in to show him how to do it when the time was needed. Because we can't. To me, this is no different than the Williams situation, right? Except for we've been resting Lacazette because of Aubameyang. Lacazette, after a while, will wear down, and then we'll be not complaining, but we'll be like, he just needs to rest, right? The man's old. He can't play.
Old man Lacazette.
BX, I've liked Cody a lot as well. Jimenez, I'm not against it. It could happen. Tony, what's the age group of midfielder and striker? To Gary's point, what age group would you want us to target? A little bit more experience, a little bit more mid-20s.
Young, yeah, young and a little bit older.
Right. So right in the middle, it's gonna give some tutelage, as Gary said.
No, not in the middle. Both, right? Young and an old one.
Oh, one of each. Okay. Which way would you do it? Older midfielder?
Older. You're talking about strikers. Now you're talking about midfielders. Make up
You
your
said
mind,
young
Rick.
and old. We need one strike. We need at least a striker, and we need a midfielder at least as well. Steven said we need 2 strikers. Jimenez.
Right, you said how good, right, can this
How good
team
can we
be?
be? How good can this
And
team be?
I think from the starting 11 that we have, we've got a good starting 9. A very good starting 9. And what I mean by that is there's really a question mark going forward over the number 9 position, the striker position. Kind of feels like we're renting that position at the minute. We ain't got a house there. We're renting an apartment, which is Lacazette. It could be going. It's unsure. The other question mark for me is in the midfield, in the Granit Xhaka's position. I still think that we can do better there. And if I circle back, we all agreed that he was a marked man, right? That's the reason that he has to go. So from our first 11, we do have a very good 9. But the problem is, after that, our depth is very weak. Our strength in depth. At that Man City game, we didn't have another striker on the bench.
No.
Our depth needs to be sorted out. So we've got, how can this team be? We're maybe another 3 players away in our first 11. And then we need a few more players with a little that are going to keep, a couple of more Tavareses, people that can cover for people, that can also knock on the door as well and make that person in the first 11 think, fuck, this isn't an easy ride because that guy's sniffing right behind my heels.
Yeah.
And I think we're 10 players away.
You're talking about a league challenge now, right, Gary?
For us, the title challenge for the league, we're about 10 players away.
Yeah.
Because we're like you said, maybe two, 3 starters away, and then we have Leno's going to be gone, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we need another goalkeeper, and then we need backups for our center backs. Whether if that's Saliba, that's one there. We don't even know if he's coming back, but we assume he is. And then we need another one, maybe. A right back.
Yeah.
Right. 2 strikers. Midfield, we need at least 2 there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's about 10 players that we're still.
We do need a right. If Pepe's
I also think we could do with another winger, and ideally one that can play on either wing as cover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because let's accept it now. Pepe's probably his days are numbered at the club as well. I finally accepted that in the last few weeks.
82 for Patrick Bamford.
He doesn't want to go to Arsenal, Tony, according to his agent. I wouldn't necessarily agree. Listen to that stuff. Vlahovic, what's not to like about the Arsenal project right now? If you're looking, if a foreign player is looking, Tony, at that City game, they've seen Arsenal come this close, and really, it's just the mentality that we were missing on the day to beat Manchester City, because the City are. They can fight. They can street fight as well.
Yeah, to me, it's the agent looking for more money. You ever heard what the player has to say about coming to Arsenal? To me, it'd be enticing coming there because you're going to get a lot of minutes because you have Lacazette, you have no young players. Aubameyang will probably be gone this window, so you have plenty of opportunity. If you're a striker, you probably want to come.
I mean, that Dusan Vlahovic, from what I understand, Fiorentina have already bought a replacement for him. I can't remember the player's name, but they bought a player. And I was listening to something earlier, and they were saying
from the German league.
I think it was Tom Canton actually on the Gooner Talk, and he was saying like this guy is don't listen to what anyone else tells you. This guy is a replacement for Vlahovic. We don't know where he's going to be going, but this guy's, they're definitely bringing this guy in with a view to him being a replacement. And again, he only gets paid 25 grand a week at the moment at Fiorentina, Vlahovic. So again, it shows you salaries. They interest me. I mean, Anthony Martial is again as someone that we've been linked with a few times, who is someone that I wouldn't want. Anthony Martial gets paid more than Mohamed Salah. He gets 250 grand a week, whereas Mohamed Salah gets 220. So why would you want to bring in something like Anthony Martial, who would want that or probably more, right? A pay increase. You have to weigh these things up, what the value is or what their intrinsic value is. But the Vlahovic guy, I don't know if you guys believe any of this. I mean, I've been hearing stories that, when his phone goes and it says Arsenal, he just puts it on silent. You know what
He's waiting. I mean, it's wise for a hot property like that to wait and see if a Real Madrid, a Bayern, or PSG come looking for him.
But you remember what Mikel said, right? Right? We spoke about this. Remember at the beginning?
Mikel has said a lot of things.
He said we shouldn't be begging players to come to Arsenal, and it does really seem that we're begging this guy. It should be a deal.
That's
right?
the thing. Do you are we begging, or is the media perception taking you there? Are they taking you down a road that leads you to believe that's what's happening?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like, watching what happened in the summer, where we had all these players that we were looking at. One at the beginning of the window, and it was Ramsdale. It turns out it was Ramsdale anyways, and they got what they wanted out of him, right? So,
And you got to watch that podcast because he talks about Sheffield as well. Stan, if you're going to spend an hour and a half, it's the best hour and a half you could spend.
Yeah, I'm sure my fucking missus will be well chuffed at that. You know what I mean? She wants to watch when I get off of here, man, we have to watch EastEnders. And just to,
have you ever heard of Stan time? What about Stan time?
Just to Steve Denham, I always give players dodgy names. Yeah. So, for example, I always call Thomas Tuchel, Tommy Tickle, and Anthony Martial. I always call him Auntie Martial. So
Mega Legs.
Gabriel Mega Legs.
The ex-Gunner said,
why do you guys keep talking about legs?
Jonathan David wearing an Henry kit was a huge comment, Gabby. I didn't see that. He was wearing an Henry kit?
No, I was just wearing a shirt with Henry on it, I think. It wasn't a kit.
Yep. Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
He wasn't walking through the airport like in socks, shorts, and a top. Do you know what I mean? Like full kit. He was just like, It was a shirt that had him on the front of it. Yeah. He's good. I've been watching a few clips of him on the old YouTube and that, and he's got a lot about him.
He's a finisher. I think he can hold the ball
as well.
Up. He's strong. He can hold the ball up, and I think he can get on the end of through balls as well.
Heads as well.
Prefer Watkins, DCL, and David. I think we've covered a lot of things. We're going to do a few more. Let's go through the squad. Let's talk about our favorite things. Actually, what I want to do is pick 3 Arsenal players that you will die on a hill for. You want to protect till the end of the world. Tony, pick 3 players. Even if you're wrong, you'll protect them. And this is sort of towards Gary because he protected Gabriel a lot on Sunday. You did.
Saka, Ramsdale, and Gabriel.
Saka, Ramsdale, and Gabriel. Even if they do something wrong, you're willing to defend them. Gary, I've got to come to you next to defend yourself. Defend yourself first, Gary, and then defend 3 Arsenal players.
Yeah, basically asking us, right, which players do we look at through rose-tinted glasses?
Yes. Gary doesn't like this.
I don't like this question because it had, you just want us to fight, and I don't want to fight with you.
You're just trying to poke the bear. Tell him he's trying to poke the bear.
That's what you want. You want us to fight, and I don't really want to fight.
No. Just like who are you willing? Who's your 3 players that you will make excuses for? Gabriel's one of them, right?
I guess Martinelli for sure.
Definitely, we know that one, right?
I guess Gabriel, since that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
And
Stan's racking his brain there.
It's hard.
I guess Ramsdale. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now Saka.
If
Not
Ramsdale, we know a goalkeeper is such a position he's going to make a mistake sooner or later. Let's not crucify him when it happens, because it will happen. It might be a crucial goal. We might lose the game, but Ramsdale has been transformative for us. So he's definitely one of those players for me. Emile Smith-Rowe is another one I will defend as well, and I have defended Pepe, so I'm going to stick with that one as well. Stan.
I tell you why it's hard, because if you'd asked me this maybe like a season and a half ago to pick 3 players that I wanted to like protect, I would have been like, well, fucking none of them. You know what I mean? I wanted to burn them all at the stake.
It was the shitbag 6, and now it's the,
But now
3.
to pick 3, there's quite a few that I'm, really warming to. But if there's players that maybe they're going to do something wrong, or they're going to cause a penalty, and I'm going to look through rose-tinted glasses and I'll give them a pass, then I've got to put Aaron Ramsdale in that list, and I'll tell you why. Because he's got our back, so I'm going to have his. Yes. Do you know what I mean? It comes, I'm gonna if we were in a pub and all the geezers wanted to have a start.
He likes the session.
I'm going to come outside with Ramsdale and back him up, because I think
he likes the session. You got to watch that podcast. Go get yourself some stand time and watch that podcast. He likes the session.
The next one, right, is going to be Kieran Tierney, and again, it's for the same reasons. But for me, I've got a Scottish background in me. I really like having a Scottish person in our team. It's something that I've wanted a long time. That's why I'm really keen on Tierney, and I really want him to do well for us, and I want him to get the armband. The third one, for me, one's difficult because there's 4 others that I can think of. Tony said Martinelli. I love Martinelli. You got ESR, one of our own, coming through the academy. Same with Saka as well.
Yep.
Martin Odegaard as well. And
these are players, if they make mistakes and everyone else is.
You know what? I'm going to give it. Out of those, the ones that I like, because there's 3 or 4 candidates, I'm going to go with Saka. Especially with the shit that he took, like playing for his country. Do you know what I mean? He's really proud to play for his country. He's broken through really quickly. He is one of our own. He's come through our academy and that. So yeah, my third one would be Saka. I would protect him. I would jump in front of that fucking bullet as it's coming in for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all good shots. I think, we have a lot to like about this team coming through. Listen,
again, I could have said Tomiyasu as well. I love him. Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Ben White. As I say, ask me this 2 seasons ago, I'd be like, I can't pick any. They're all shitbags. But
think about it. There's at least 7 or 8 players that you're going to be on that list, and then like I said, he's out the door. Partey, he just showed up. We just seen a Partey, and Xhaka right now is, he's on the team, but he's not going to get that love right now. So. Yeah, I'm
not jumping in front of a bullet for Xhaka. I'm kind of pushing Xhaka in front of the trajectory of the bullet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at this. These sampled minor.
Tell us what you really think of Xhaka, Stan.
You should be blocked for that. The assembled. You shouldn't no. You take that back and give us the real answers.
As the Saw Doctors would say, assembled. You can look this up. The Saw Doctors. Go on out of that. We don't believe you.
That reminds me of the funniest comment I've heard all week. Someone asked, what would be your first signing in the transfer window? And someone replied, well, obviously a fucking referee, because every other fucking big team seems to have one. So
every big team's got one, Stan, and I think we have to climb that ladder. We have to become a big team again in the status of the league, and then, I think we're getting back to that part, and that's why you keyed in on it, and I've titled it, "It's us against them," or it's got to be. This has got to be the way forward.
Siege mentality.
This is the way, as the Mandalorian would say. We have to go forward this way. And we tie everything in together, Tony, right? We have to bring some.
You're always about with Star Wars, Ray. Always.
The purpose of this exercise is to show we have a bunch of gems. Okay, listen, we're going to play Kahoot in a little bit, but let's have a quick chat about our squad, Gary. Goalkeepers first. And I have a little list here. is not designed to poke anyone. Leno for 23 million, I believe.
Bye.
We sold Martinez for 20.
You're
That's
just
kind of
on.
what.
You just did
What
this
is
to talk
What is
about Martinez
Martinez
and
even
Gary
getting?
always
What's
do.
part of the discussion?
Money and how we've dealt with the money in that position. Okay,
The
so
man's been gone for 2 years. Let it go.
You still talk about him, Gary, and
I'm
right?
not talking about it. I'm trying to move
all right.
Yes, you are.
But Ramsdale is money well spent. Then, if I'm going to leave
Mhm.
the Leno and Martinez as a wash,
Yeah.
Ramsdale is money well spent. And if it's 24 million rising to 30, even if it's 30 million, because I believe a lot of those targets in his contract to trigger the extra money, he'll probably hit those targets. Clean sheets, winning titles, whatever it is. If he's here for 7 or 8 years with us, that's about 4 million a season, and that's money well spent, right, for Ramsdale.
Yep. Yep. I mean, Leno is a starting goalkeeper, so he should be gone for starting goalkeeper monies. Yes,
Yeah,
we don't want
we're
him, but
gonna have to replace him, right?
he's a starter, and we should be able to get more than enough money for him to get a backup.
Will he be gone this window?
How would you, Tony? What age would you target as a backup goalkeeper for Ramsdale?
Uh,
You're
19
not
to
good with
21.
ages, huh?
19 to 21.
1921. So a few years younger. Gary, would you agree with that? And Stan, I don't know if Stan is still there.
Well, it depends. And if they see Vakonko is or the other goalkeeper is the future for Arsenal, right? So maybe
Mhm.
they need somebody like a Matty Ryan, like they got last time,
Yeah,
that's okay sitting on the bench and comes in and can and do a job.
too much info, Tony. Um, Stan, what's your thoughts on the goalkeeping position? So, well, I'm not going to mention Leno or Martinez. Well, Ramsdale,
See,
if he's good,
I was a big fan of Leno. I liked Leno. He was playing for us at a time when we were fucking dire. And we were basically, if you were choosing our best players in that period, it was either
two ends of the pitch,
Aubameyang,
right?
Aubameyang scoring goals or fucking Leno keeping them out. But the problem with Bernd Leno is he was born a mute. So that's always going to be a problem if you haven't got a tongue in your head to command your fucking defence. And we've seen the difference with Ramsdale. And I was one of those that was like, Ramsdale, what the fuck are we buying this guy for? Didn't know much about him. Thought it was a bit peculiar. Worked out for the best. Glad that we've got him. I like having Leno as a backup keeper, but Bernd Leno don't want to be a backup keeper. He's been backup in Germany for a while, third place goalkeeper there, sometimes second. He wants to go and play somewhere else. I think that we'll get good money for him still. We may even be able to get back what we paid for him if we're shrewd. Who do we bring in? You could go two ways, right? You could, well, personally, I would like us to bring in someone a little bit older than Ramsdale, who's been around a little bit and understands what his place is, but can come on and play a few games when needed, but having a little bit of an older head, because Ramsdale's still going through a bit of a learning period, right? He's young himself. He doesn't know it all yet. So it'd be good to have him to be able to sort of like have a sounding board. When things aren't going so well for Ramsdale, there'll be a big brother to put his arm around him. So I'd like to go in that direction for a backup keeper. I don't have any names, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We just want to money well spent in the end at the goalkeeping.
Yeah, I mean, you compare it. What's that peeping over Gary's shoulder there now? Everyone keeps peeping over Gary's shoulder.
Look, he's switching it up on the poor viewers. We want to run a caption contest for Gary's background, but he keeps switching backgrounds.
But what I'd say, you say money well spent. I'd answer it like this: look how much Liverpool spent on their goalkeeper, and look how much Chelsea spent on the one that can't even get into their team now, ahead of Mendy. If you look at it like that, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Good scouting, good deal.
Yeah. Ramsdale said the same thing on the podcast. Why is Arsenal buying a player that was relegated twice? He said He was thinking like a fan. And as Stan said, I think he connects with the fans as well. So he actually said on the podcast he loses concentration. He doesn't have good concentration. his
Who's that?
his caption contest is going to be very, very difficult to do. We can't hone
Who
in on
says they don't have good concentration?
so Ramsdale has admitted that his concentration is not very good. He has to have things to do, Stan.
So like he's standing there in the goal and he's like fucking thinking about like I got to go shopping tonight. I need some eggs, I need some bread.
At Leeds, he was doing that at Leeds. He was like, "What can I buy with £17?" Because he picked up 17 pounds in coins from the fans throwing. And this one guy was having a go at him at Leeds. He had a guy with a top knot, and when it got to 3-0, he was giving the loads back to him. Because good viewing. Stan, since it's Kieran Tierney, let's have you start off with Kieran Tierney. Money well spent, 25 bags.
Listen, there was a time when my missus was worried because she thought I was going to like dump her for Kieran Tierney. As I say, he's a fellow Scots. I'm so glad that we've got a Scot in the team. I really still think, for me, he's our best candidate to be captain, and not just for what he is on the pitch. I think a captain plays a real big part, being what happens off the pitch, and he's very good in his interviews. He's very, you might need a little bit of some subtitles now and again because of the accent, but he's actually quite articulate. He's a very articulate lad. And if you're going to be putting out initiatives from the club, whether you're doing something in your community, a charity or this and that, I can't think of anyone better to be the face. I want him to be our captain.
I agree with you. I think he's the perfect for interviews. He can play a little bit. We need his injury record to be better, a little bit better. I don't think a captain has to play 38 games in the league, but he's got to hit close to 30. I'm going to initiate the Kahoot pin now because people are asking for it. But Gary, Kieran Tierney.
Turn the music down, Dave.
25. Right. I will turn the music down as well. 25 million, Gary, for a left back that, again, should and could be in our team for 5 more years at least.
Yeah, I mean, the first 5 minutes I saw him play for us, and I was like, yep, all right, we got our right back. Done. All right, so what's up next? I mean, he I think he came in late in that game, and I was like, all right, that's the guy, because it was like we were all happy to have him come into the squad, but he didn't. I don't think he played right away because he's still injured. And
who bought him again? It wasn't who was it who bought him? Actually bought him? Was it Emery?
Raul.
It was around that. I think it was with Emery.
Raul.
I think Emery was
Raul.
Yeah. No, it's money well spent. It was a risk because of the injury and all of that, but as soon as I saw him play, I was like, that position's done. Let's move on to the next one. So, yeah, no, I think they did really good with that. You take a risk sometimes and it pans out, and we're taking risks with every player that we've brought in, right? Ben White, too high. Ramsdale, relegation. Tomiyasu, Tavage, and Sambi. That seems really low. Are you really going to get enough out of them? And we are. And then Erdegaard, is he going to be better than what you got? And, so he started out not so good, I believe, in my eyes anyways. But he's starting to come around, and we're seeing what they saw, I guess. And he's been good ever since. So everything's looking good. Yeah, I mean, 150 mil doesn't sound like a lot now, does it? I mean, what team out there is saying you guys spent the most money?
Players.
Yeah.
Tony, real quick, Kieran Tierney, and then tell us about the 2 center backs, Gabriel and Ben White.
To me, Tierney is great for our captaincy, but he's injured too much. That's kind of my thing against him. Love a player, like listening to him speak. Of course, I'm hearing a lot of the same things from Ramsdale now. I'd probably go that route instead of Tierney, because just there are people like Arteta where he only made 16 Arsenal starts and he was captain for 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't think, a lot of fans will have the starts as a negative against the player, but I don't think if you're a club captain, yes, you should be on the field as much as possible, but it's not the be all and end all.
Look at Noble at West Ham.
Yeah.
Don't fucking start for none of their games, does he?
No, but he's really played the same position as Rice, Declan Rice, and he's done a really good job of grooming. And Declan Rice is a natural captain as well. So I think a little bit of the City game was that some of the players trying too hard to maybe audition, care a little bit too much for what happened. And Gabriel, I think he got sucked up into the occasion.
What about Declan Rice at Arsenal? Would you have some of that?
A lot of money, but I would have some of that for sure. Gary, you'd be interested in Declan Rice?
Yeah, same. It's the same thing we had before. Just a lot of money. We afford to do that.
Like, he's better than Granit Xhaka.
There's a lot of things better than Granit. I mean, a cone is better than Granit Xhaka, right? So
Ben White and Gabriel combined 77 million. Gabriel 27, Ben White 50.
Yeah, and you could see the difference in what you get for 25 and what you get for 50, right? Because Gabriel's still a work in progress. Ben White, I don't even remember. He's not going to go off the rails because one, he's been in the league enough to know better in terms of what you can and cannot shouldn't do if we want to stay in the game. So yeah, but Gabriel could be 2 times better than Ben White when it's all said and done. After he's been in the league for that amount of time, if he lasts. So,
Tomiyasu for 17 million. Good money spent as well. That back five.
Yeah, ask Sterling.
Sterling.
I
gave him the man in match on Sunday.
Ask Sterling how good Tomiyasu is.
Yeah.
I mean, that figure you quoted for Ben White and Gabriel, my answer to that is very short, yeah? Same amount of money we spent on Mustafi and Xhaka.
Right. I thought you were going to combine them and then divide them in two and say, hey, 40 million or 37
Those two were 72 million, Stan, or 71.
It's around about the same.
And 35.
Yeah. No, definitely shows we are improving in the transfer business. We're starting to get the hang of things, you know what I mean? And we have to be like Liverpool. We have to build like Liverpool. We can't be a City. We can't be a Chelsea, Tony. And we have to build this way. Listen, I think there's 4 people in the Kahoot. Let's see if we can get anyone else joined up. Stan, that back 5, would you say they are title challenging quality?
With a little bit more grooming. I mean, Gabriel, he can't have too many of those moments. As much as he's really good trying to head in from the back.
That was a top level game, though, right?
But what I'm saying is, though, these are things that he has to learn. Mm-hmm. He's done it a couple of times now, and if he learns from that, then that's all part of the learning curve. But if it's part of his game, it's going to harm us.
Yeah. As
much as we like him, and I like him very much, my missus likes him a little bit too much. That's another story, right?
Uh-oh.
But if he's gonna, the red mist is going to take over too often in games like that, then again, that's a little Xhaka-ish for me, and we don't need that. So he's young. He's made a couple of mistakes now. Hopefully someone's talking to him and he realizes that we need him on the pitch more than walking off down the tunnel,
Yeah.
But I like him a lot. And the back 4 that we have, I think the quality is there with a little bit more playing together, a little bit more, learning the game together a little bit more. There's quality there that I would say is good enough for a title winning side, yes.
Right. Tony, you agree? Anyone else want to join in Kahoot? We'll get started. Looks like there's 4 people right now. We'll give it 1 minute. We'll do the quiz, and then we'll have a little bit more of a chat about Arsenal. We'll go into how much. Have a little think about this, guys. How much is the academy going to save Arsenal in terms of cash? How valuable could Saka be? How valuable could Emile Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, all those players be? Not that we want to sell them, but their value right now. You know what I mean? You see the wheels turning there. And have a little go at the captions behind Gary if he keeps that background up or if he just plays devil's advocate.
Why? It's just Ian Wright. It's not Gary. John
All
Smith
right.
didn't copy
It's
Gary.
just Ian Wright. Let's get started with the game, right?
Are you
Kahoot
playing
game?
Are you playing
Who's
Kahoot
playing?
now?
Who's playing? Yeah, we're gonna play Kahoot.
Right, I'm going to bow out then. I'm going to go and have my dinner.
All right. Come back in if you want to. Well, you will be eating.
Enjoy your feedback. Nose bag.
Enjoy your dinner.
Nose bag, Stan.
Yeah, I'm off for some nose bag. But
Some nosh.
good to speak to you all again. Good to see
Likewise,
everybody in the chat box. And a shame that we didn't have a game today that we could be talking about. But you know, maybe
as Alex from Cannon Fodder said, take the positives from it, and I see a positive that we get some rest then until the FA Cup game, and even we'll have a rotated side.
We are a little short, aren't we? So, you know, maybe it's a blessing in disguise in a way.
We go at Liverpool next Thursday, and then we finish the job off on the 20th, hopefully, at home.
Yeah.
Because I would like to win this trophy. Thanks.
I thought you were going to say I would like to win this Kahoot game. Okay.
Who's Boris Johnson?
Lads.
Who was Boris Johnson last week?
Enjoy your game. Oh yeah. The reason I'm not playing. Listen, I played last week and I got a streak of 9 questions. That's it. You leave on a high. Again. I won the game. 9 questions in a row. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a king.
Mahir said it was him, not you.
Don't pretend you can't hear me, Gary.
I don't know what you're saying. What are you saying?
Mahir said it was him, not you, Stan.
It was me. I was playing as Boris Johnson.
I would think it was probably Stan, you know. Here we go. Thanks, Stan.
Have a good one.
3, 2, 1. 4 players in here, so start. Let's go. Oh, we'll put the volume up a little bit, huh? Thursday Night Forum. It's us against them. Which player dispossessed the ball from Kevin De Bruyne leading up to Arsenal's first goal? Which player dispossessed the ball from KDB leading to Arsenal's first goal? Tomiyasu, Benjamin White, Thomas Partey.
Fucking Kahoot music. Turn it down, Ray. Turn it down.
We have 2 correct answers of Benjamin White. He took the ball away from Kevin De Bruyne, and the rest was history, well, at least in the first half. We did win a half, Gary. Gabriel out to a lead, 9:52. Ray Anderson, 8:04. Raul Jimenez, Urban Ghost is in there. Urban Ghost, I'm shouting for you. Hope you do well. What is the name of the stadium we left to go to the Emirates? Sainsbury, Cadbury, Highbury, Mile High. What's the name of the stadium we left to go to the Emirates?
What kind of question is that, Ray?
An easy one.
You didn't get the first one, so.
Yeah. I was like, Tony's not going to get the first one, so I want to keep him involved here. 4 correct answers of Highbury. Well done, everybody. Raul Jimenez has dropped out. Gabriel.
Comrade Stansky's in third.
Urban Ghost. Gary, are you playing?
Yeah.
Who are you? Which one are you?
Come on,
Gabriel.
super easy.
You're Gabrielle. All right. Nice one, Gary. Herbert Chapman came to Arsenal from which club? I'm guessing.
I don't know.
Huddersfield, Newcastle United, Hull City, Leeds United. Way back in the 1930s. And the anniversary of his passing was today. Huddersfield is the correct answer. We have some links to Huddersfield. 3 correct answers.
Like what color of her shirt? Comrade
Gabrielle,
Skansky's moving up.
Gabrielle, Ray Anderson, and Urban Ghost tied for third place.
What about Comrade Tonsky?
Arsenal have won how many FA Cups? Arsenal have won how many FA Cups? 12, 13, 14, or 15? How many times have we lifted the paper crack, covering the paper cracks trophy? But it is our trophy. 3 correct answers of 14, 1 incorrect of 12. Gabrielle is in a nice lead here. Urban Ghost is second. Ray Anderson a close third. Comrade Stansky, I think you got that one incorrect the last time. What connects Nottingham Forest to Arsenal historically? The shirt color, the former manager, mascot is the same, or same owners. What connects Nottingham Forest to Arsenal historically? Shirt color, former manager. So, as the story goes, you all got it correct. As the story goes, a couple of players were transferred to Arsenal from Nottingham Forest, and they brought their shirts with them, and Arsenal pretty much had 3 or 4 shirts less to make, and were able to save some money. So that's what happened. Gabriel has the highest answer streak of 5. Gabriel, now he's got a suspension. He's rested, and he's playing well. Ray Anderson second. Urban Ghost a close third. Comrade Stansky needs some work. Raul Jimenez dropped out, so I don't think we're signing Raul Jimenez. Nottingham Forest have won the European Cup. True or false? Nottingham Forest have won the European Cup. Is that a true statement or a false statement? 3 correct answers of yes. They did win the European Cup in 1980. 1 incorrect of false. Gabriel is in a very, very good lead. Ray Anderson second. Urban Ghost it's between Ray Anderson and Urban Ghost for second. Comrade Stansky is in a very, very safe 4th position. Top 4 for Comrade Stansky. Stansky. Which former gunner has played for Everton, West Brom, and Notts Forest? Kevin Richardson, Kevin Campbell, Saul Campbell, or Michael Thomas? Which former Arsenal player has played for Everton, West Brom, and Nottingham Forest? 4 correct answers. Legend, Kevin Campbell, Super Kevin. Gabrielle, unassailable lead, I would say, at this point in time.
I know Urban Ghost might catch up.
Second place is up for grabs. Urban Ghost and Ray Anderson. Comrade Stoneski, that's who it is. Gabrielle is 7 correct answers. Good stuff. What is the Nottingham Forest emblem? Mushrooms, river, hat, trees. What is the Nottingham Forest emblem? Mushrooms, river, hat, trees. Three correct answers of trees because
Who the fuck picked mushrooms?
Sure, you did.
No, I didn't. I got it right.
Ray Anderson, I think. Urban Ghost is second place. Gabrielle with 3 to go, I think.
Tight race for third.
Right, 2 left. Arsenal beat Liverpool in dramatic circumstances in 1989. What was the score? In 1989 at Anfield, 2-1 win for Arsenal, 2-0 win for Arsenal, 4-4 draw, or 2-2 draw. Ooh, 1 correct answer, 2-0 win. 2-1 was incorrect. We have 3 incorrects. Cat has been put among the pigeons. Urban Ghost gotten closer. Last question. True or false? Tottenham are still shit. True or false? Tottenham are still shit.
What kind of fucking question's that, Ray? Another easy one?
I figured 4 correct answers of true. I figured the placings would be set anyway. Thursday Night Forum. It's us against them. It looks like it is Gary against the world.
Damn
and
it.
Gary has come out winning today. First place for Gary.
How much position between third and fourth? How many points?
I don't know. It doesn't really give that. Congratulations, Gary.
Gary
I
finally
win.
won something.
Savor it, Gary.
He won
Yes,
an FA Cup like
Urban Ghost.
Arteta.
Urban Ghost, second place. Ray Anderson, third. So good stuff, everybody. Well done. A word there, Gary. A speech, victory speech. No.
you all suck. I win. Losers. Oh, am I supposed to be nice about this thing?
No, you're supposed to be you, Gary, and that's why we love you. Comrade Stoneski, Urban Ghost, you did well. Second place. Good game, good game. Listen, if you want to be able to a chance of winning Kahoot, get in here. Get here toward the end of the podcast, and we have a little bit of fun with it as well. That's what it's all about. And what I like most about it is that it's interactive. Is my voice better now, Tony? Is it cleared up, or is
It sounded the same. You still look like 56K,
You know what?
Ray, though.
I think your video is coming in clearer, but can you get fuzzy it up a little again?
you like fuzzy? Don Juan was in there. Don. So who was Don Juan?
Raul Jimenez.
Jimenez. I don't know. I feel like Jimenez dropped out. I don't think we should sign that Jimenez this window, Tony. All right, Tony,
No.
we're going to skip over midfield. Let's just say Partey. The jury might be out a little bit on Partey. 45 million activated the release clause. Granit Xhaka is going to move on eventually. Gary, money well spent on Partey. If he gives us a decent standard of performance like against City.
Yeah, that was
Decent?
That was his
all the
perfect.
time he
That
showed
was
us.
his best game, so we need to see that
It's
again.
this is Partey's his difference between high and low.
How was it decent,
big,
Ray? That was
big
a great
difference there.
performance. Come on, give him credit.
Yeah, if we get that again for the rest of the season, I'm going to take it. So,
Don Juan, download the Kahoot app. You don't have to put your predictions in the chat. You can be in the game. You don't have to sign your life away. It's quite free, and you just have to answer. I think the date you were born or something silly like that. You know what I mean? Sorry, Gary, you were saying about Partey.
no, I'm saying we get what we expect. If we get what we saw against City, we see that multiple times consistently, then yeah, it's worth it. But it's taken a while to get there. But we're gonna have to see it for a while now. Now that we know what it looks like, we need to see that a lot more.
All right. Yeah, Don Juan, find it on the iPhone app. You download the app Kahoot. You can actually play games on YouTube. You find the Kahoot game on YouTube. You can play along one as well. But we do have games here every podcast as well. It'd be fun to get 9 or 10 people in there because that's the max amount is 10. So let's do that. Okay, Erdegaard, Gary. Finally, it looks like he's settling in. He likes his environment, and we're getting the best out of him.
Yeah, no, he's looked really good. So, yeah, we'll take it.
Money well spent.
Similar to Partey, I need to see it some more. Yeah.
Tony, your thoughts on Erdegaard?
I started off slow. I was disappointed. Now he's a player that, without EB, I'm still not sure why it took so long adjusting this season. To me, it's something mentally going on, what was going on in Madrid, because now he's on fire. It's nice to be seeing goals from midfield. And just 2 seasons ago, we got one entire goal from the midfield. Now him and Smith Rowe are scoring at will. It's nice to see.
Is it on Android Play Store? I'm not sure. You would have to search for that. It's definitely on iPhones, Don. Ray Anderson said yes, it is. So there you go. Download it and be ready for the next one on Sunday. FA Cup, FA Cup game with Nottingham Forest. Um, I think Pepe we overpaid for, Gary.
You think?
I know
Yeah.
we're skipping through these real quick. Pepe
Yep. Overpaid, and he can't get into the squad, so it's
let's do the fun stuff, Gary. 8 million for Martinelli. What's he worth now?
25.
That's low.
It is low, but it's he's how old is he?
20.
Yeah, and we've just seen, whatever, like 10
Would you
games of
be
him.
happy? Would you be happy for Arsenal to sell him in the summer for 25?
No, but that's what you said. I said, how much is he worth right now? Somebody should buy him right now.
Come on, Ray. That's Gary's favorite player, besides Gabriel.
I kind of agree with Don Juan. 40 million.
Mm.
I would maybe even push. I think
See, the thing is, you say that, but then you say, then we also say that Ben White's 50. So, I don't know.
they give you different things. Ben White is not a left winger. Martinelli's not a defender.
Yeah, I mean, he's still, I think he's still working on his craft. But yeah,
Tony, Gary's at 25. I'm at 40. Where do you say? Where do you land?
I'd say more closer to a 25 because we haven't really seen enough of him. We're just now starting to see him. Based on what you've seen lately, you'd go more with the 40 million, but you've only seen him for a handful of games, so it's closer to a 25 million.
Okay. I thought you'd have more fun with this. You guys are just killing my buzz here. Who do you want to go with next, Gary?
you pick somebody.
Emile Smith Rowe.
Emile Smith Rowe.
Academy product. Do you want to go to someone else
I'm
first?
gonna go 45.
I don't want to put you on the spot. Starting.
No, it sounds like 25 seemed really low, so I'm going to go 45 for Emile Smith.
Oh, you just flipped a little bit on me.
So what you want me to do?
Are you going to revise?
He's worth 34.2.
No, I want you to revise your Martinelli valuation.
He's worth 34.2.
35 for Martinelli then.
Okay, 35 for Martinelli. How much for Emile Smith Rowe?
45.
I think he's 50. He's closer to a Madison. Isn't he as good as a Madison? Better? Isn't he better than Madison?
You're talking about somebody. The difference in years is different,
No, don't look at the years. It's ability.
Well, you have to look at the years if you're going to put it that way. I mean, I don't know how you don't.
You're Manchester City. Do you want to get James Madison or do you want to get Emile Smith Rowe?
If you're City, they probably go with Madison. That's what they've done with Grealish, right? If they're true to their process, they're getting a Madison. That's what they just did it.
Tony,
they just went and got a Grealish, right?
He's worth 34.2 million pounds.
Don't be looking it up. I don't want you to look it up.
I'm saying what they're saying he's worth. To me, he's worth 60 million.
Okay. Yeah, Gary doesn't like this exercise.
I'm not good at this.
Gary doesn't like much of anything.
I think Emile Smith Rowe is worth
backgrounds.
I think he's worth 60 million. He's after scoring close to 10 goals. I think he's got 9 or something now for the season. Emile Smith Rowe, and hopefully he kicks on. We've got a diamond right there. Tony Saka, Bukayo Saka.
120.
I'm gonna say 100 million, and Gary's gonna slap me and tell me to.
Gary's gonna say
Instead.
60.
I was gonna say 60. So
How the
All
hell
right.
did I guess that?
Tony, conservatively, we're gonna put Emile Smith Rowe and Saka about 50 or 60 million. That's about 100 million, 120 million from
Not
the
enough.
academy. We saved
Not enough.
the academy has saved Arsenal some serious money. Saka 80 million, Don Juan.
He's only worth 58.5, which is insane. He's worth double that.
Yeah. Now, Charlie Patino. I know we're delving a little bit into a talent that's too young maybe to assess yet, but he came on in the Carabao Cup
Sam
quarterfinal.
isn't here, Ray. Sam isn't here.
You're Sam's lieutenant. You're Sam's number 2.
Fucking Sam would have him at 150 million pounds.
Okay, I mean the
10
future's
million?
bright. I mean, this is
10
what we're
million?
saying. The future's bright, right, Tony?
Yeah, I'd say 10 million, even though we haven't seen much.
Gary, just doing this project here, assessing the money. Do you think Arteta saw the talent that we had in the forward positions and decided to spend a lot of money in midfield and defense?
he didn't even spend money in the midfield. What are you talking about?
Some money in midfield and most of it in defense. Erdegaard and Lakonga is 50 million.
Odegaard. Say his name right, Ray.
Erdegaard.
You'd have to say Martin instead. Like Gary
Right, Gary,
does.
there's 50 million.
You're making it
spent in
like since
midfield.
he's been here, he spent how much money on the defense?
200 million.
Yeah, I mean, and
And we have a worse defensive record somehow.
we still
I
giving up
think,
tons of goals. I mean,
Tony, I think we've wore Gary down. At the start of the podcast, he was energetic and chipper, and now he's.
it's just like kill my vibe. I win, Kahoot, and then you go, you know what? I had to figure out how to kill Gary's vibe here.
Gary went into
You
a
don't do
pill
it
bottle or
intentionally.
something. What's wrong with you, Gary?
I don't
do
know.
it intentionally. You know, he
No,
finally realized the Cowboys aren't going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, realized that a while ago. Unless I see something different here in the next 2 games that they play. So
Yeah. Well,
Gary realized
Saturday you're
25
okay.
years ago.
Saturday's a warm-up game.
yeah.
Okay, Gary. So basically, future's bright with Arsenal.
Yeah, no, Patino's good, but I mean, I think if Patino is supposed to play in a specific position, he's still 2-3 years from where he needs to be.
What's his value?
What's his value?
How much are you selling?
25. 25.
You've seen nothing from him, but it's 25.
I've seen enough. 25 because of the potential. So nobody's going to give him away for like 5. No way.
We're not going to sell him for nothing. You know, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel comfortable saying about 25 as well, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Your evaluations came more in line with us as we went through this process.
Don Juan's giving me a
Neither.
Gary,
you know what? You know what? Here's the thing. I've seen the Cowboys win 3 Super Bowls. You know, and Arsenal. I've been alive for them winning it, but I haven't actually been following them like I am now. So, you know, Arsenal wins the Champions League, and you know what? Everybody in the world wants to see that. So yeah.
Love it. Gary, you sent me
Nice.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah, so you want to see the Champions League, right?
Yeah, I mean Patino is potential. Martinelli, we know what we've seen, and it's gonna double really quickly. But right now, yeah. I mean, nobody heard of Martinelli, but Chris, Patino's been a name for a while, right? That's my only thing about that.
Yeah. Okay, listen, we're going to sign off in a few minutes. If anyone does want to drop in, there's a backstage pass here. You come and say hello to us. We stick around for a few minutes before we go.
Yeah, Pepe he had potential, and it's gone. We've seen him play, so it's definitely not the same thing as a Patino. Patino came in and played and scored. When's the last time Pepe scored?
Tony?
I just want to know what's in Gary's cocoa water.
I mean, there's cocoa water.
Gary, what are you saying to Peter Schmeichel in your background?
Get ready to just go in the goal. Don't even bother.
That's Ian Wright, not Gary. What are you talking about, Ray?
All right, what's Ian Wright? What's Peter Schmeichel thinking about?
Just take the ball. Just take the ball in the net. Just don't even bother standing in front of the goal. Just go in and just go inside, lay down, and wait for the ball to roll to you, and then we'll start over. So,
Don Juan, thanks for stopping by. Come back next stream. We'll be doing.
I'm gonna have to drop off. So
Yep.
I don't know how long I'll be in the back room.
You're getting that look, Gary. We all know that look.
What's the look?
Move along, look.
No.
The boss after you, Gary. What's your problem?
Listen, we'll wind it up in the next minute or so. Tony, Nottingham Forest on Sunday. Rotate a little bit. Rotate a lot.
Rotate a lot, but we probably won't. We'll probably see probably half our normal starting 11, which I want to do. One thing I want to see is Saka's name nowhere near a team sheet.
Yeah, Ray Anderson need to go to sleep. We're all heading there now, Ray, as well. Going across the country to Portland tomorrow, so do drive safely. Gary, real quick.
The game should be over at halftime.
Yeah,
so,
even rotating heavily, right?
It still should be. I mean, we've got players that should be hungry to get in there and show what they have. So if that's in Kedia, he needs to do. If he tips in 3 goals at before half, then so be it. So he'll be worth a lot more in the market if he does that. So.
All right. If you missed the live stream so far, we covered the postponement. I think we're a little bit kind to Liverpool. They took advantage of the situation, but listen, Arsenal might do that at some point in time. So let's not be holier than thou and preach from the hilltops. Restructured fixtures. I think there's going to be a game on my birthday, the 23rd of January. We're going to play Burnley, so that's something to look forward to. I want to say thanks to everyone who's dropped by. No game today, but we did not postpone. Tony?
Ray, you'll be 51.
Yes, I'll be 51. Yeah. FA charge a paltry 20,000, but when do the referees that take the games, when do they get charged with anything? Anyway, listen, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, everybody. And slap a like on the way out. Validate your boarding pass. And
no 15-minute outro, Ray.
We're going to release Gary. From his duties.
Pull your chute, Gary.
I'm out of here. I'll see you guys. Sunday after? I guess Sunday. So
yeah, if anyone wants to drop backstage, grab that, grab the StreamYard link, and come and say hello.
Come on, Steve, stay with us. Steve's trying to bail out on us.
Steve's out. All right, take care, everyone. Come on, you Gooners. Let's go get Nottingham Forest Sunday. We will be there.